Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 171. That's a lot of episodes. I haven't thought about that in a while. It's been quite some time. Today we are back for another weekly episode. Last episode was our fantasy football trivia. Go check it out. It was with Easton, Ivan, and Seth. Super fun video. Go watch it right now because I'm about to spoil it. So you got 3 seconds to click on it.
1, 2, 3.
Ivan absolutely destroyed these guys. Wasn't even a contest.
No. It was. I might as well have not been there. I could have been a ghost and I would have performed equally as well.
Well, you still got some points, though.
Yeah, I did. I threw a wrench in the mix, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Also, shout out our boy Andrew. Shout out Andrew. He hit us up on Instagram, said he's a big fan of the podcast. Hey, if you're a big fan, DM us on Instagram, comment on our stuff. Also, go follow us on Twitter. I have not plugged our Twitter in a while. I've been trying to tweet on there when big news happens. And we don't have a lot of followers on Twitter, at High Tempo Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and obviously on TikTok too if you follow us there. So let's get right into the news because the reason I bring up the Twitter thing is because there was big news yesterday.
Huge.
Ben Johnson is back as the offensive coordinator as the Detroit Lions. He told teams that were interested in him that he is not interested in being their head coach because he wants to be a part, or he believes the Detroit Lions are going to do something special and he wants to be a part of it. What an absolute top 5 coolest Detroit things that I've ever seen. This is just this is better than signing a great player almost.
It's the way the headline reads, because he stays because he thinks something special is going on. Hell yeah, something special is going on, and you're a huge reason for it. So shout out Ben Johnson for not making us wait. That's right. The first thing I mentioned to you. It's awesome that we know this so early into the offseason, that we get to keep Ben Johnson and he's not leaving us. I'm so happy that he's coming back because the offense is going to just look so crisp for another season. We're going to have a whole, full, healthy JMO with Ben Johnson, and teams aren't going to know what to do.
No.
We are going to kill teams next year offensively.
Yeah. And, let's be real. Ben Johnson is the reason that this offense was as good as it was this year.
Yeah.
Coming into this year, we were excited about the offense, but this wasn't going to be a top 3, top 5 best offense in the NFL like it actually was. He made Jared Goff look like an elite quarterback because he used him to his strengths. We have the right weapons around him. Jamal Williams wasn't supposed to lead the league in rushing touchdowns. He did. A lot of these guys were not supposed to. And even in games where our weapons were out, Amon-Ra's out, Swift's out, DJ Shark's out, obviously no J-Mo. Other guys still shine. Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, even Tom Kennedy, them guys all had their moments early in the year as well. So this is huge news. I assume Ben Johnson is going to be a hot head coach candidate once again next year. And maybe he takes the Josh McDaniels route. He was a offensive coordinator that every single offseason was getting head coaching buzz. And he would go, do the interviews and everything, and then always come back to the Patriots. Finally took a head coaching job this past year. We all know how that went. So maybe Ben Johnson sees that and realizes, maybe I'm not. It's either, obviously I bet he wants to be part of Detroit, but also he's a really young coach.
Yeah, yes.
I don't even think he's 40 yet. So he's, he wants to know what it's like to probably be a head coach. And I bet he takes on an even bigger role next year with just more than offense, even though he is the offensive coordinator, just to get prepared for potentially being a head coach.
Yeah, one thing that I like about Ben Johnson coming back is I was worried that when you become a head coach, the expectations become a little bit different. Ben Johnson did a lot of experimenting this year and a lot of different packages and sets and everything. He was super creative on offense. And I was worried that if he became a head coach, that might hinder his ability to do that. Because all the eyes are on him. He takes all the blame. If something bad goes wrong, Ben Johnson knows he's got a leader in Dan Campbell who's going to say, hey, that was my fault, not Ben Johnson's. So Ben Johnson's never going to get the heat for it. I love that he's got a second year now to really get creative and dig deep. I want you to do more things. I want you to experiment more. I'm rooting for you, Ben. I know eventually you're going to be gone.
Yeah.
I know
most likely next year.
Most likely. Unless somehow we convince him to take the Steelers approach and he stays for 100 years. But he's too special of a coach to not leave. So I'm really excited for him to get to experiment and do all those things this year again.
And I think it does help us out a lot, too, that there is not too many attractive jobs right now. The Carolina Panthers job is a decent one, but the quarterback is obviously in question. The Arizona Cardinals job doesn't look that fun right now with Kyler being out. D-Hop's going to get traded. Obviously, the Broncos job looks really difficult, and they're especially for a first-year guy. Like, unless that Chargers job opens up, which it doesn't seem like it's going to because they fired their OC and their play caller or whatever, and not Brandon Staley.
Which is why
there's not many great jobs out there at the moment. So that definitely was a huge benefit to us and to Jim Harbaugh, actually. That was something that I forgot to write down in the notes for this episode. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh is also coming back to Michigan. So pretty good day or a couple of days for you as a fan of, two great coaches coming back.
Yeah, the moment I saw the Jim Harbaugh news about him, every year the offseason happens and it's like, oh, there's hot head coach. Everybody wants Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, I get that. He doesn't want to leave Michigan, though. Yeah. I really did this year. Like, I wasn't nervous about him leaving. I had no thought that he would leave just because he's gotten so close for so many years, and he still is JJ. Like, I don't think he's going to leave if JJ's still the QB, unless he wins a natty. I think if he wins a natty, he could leave.
I think next year Jim Harbaugh leaves. Like, I really do believe that because there's just so much beef there with him and athletic director Ward Manuel. Clearly, there's something there that, like, why would you go consistently every year, go take interviews elsewhere if you want to be a part of Michigan, you know? And obviously, he hasn't gotten that long-term contract that most top college football coaches have. But also, like, Jim Harbaugh, told all the seniors, like, I want you guys to come back. And a lot of them did. I mean, this Michigan team next year it's college football playoff or bust next year. Like, this team is going to be full of super seniors. It's going to be a team full of Stetson Bennett's out there playing against 19-year-olds. They should dominate. And the Big Ten is going to be down next year, So, obviously, that should be Michigan's year to, again, dominate. But yeah, it's just like Jim Harbaugh, he want all the seniors back. Blake Corum comes back. J.J. McCarthy. The offensive line, for the most part, is back. No reason for him to leave.
Yeah, none at all. And there's just, like you said, the head coaching jobs in the NFL. Who wants to go coach the Denver Broncos? I don't know many guys that want to.
I don't know either.
I really don't.
I don't know if anyone wants to.
The Panthers. Who really wants to go coach that rebuilding football team? When you could just stay A with the Lions or B with the Michigan Wolverines? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Make your choice.
I'm just super excited for this Lions off season.
Me too.
We're going to be talking a lot about it, like every single episode up until it's actually here. I just want it to be April already, man. Like, I don't really care about these playoffs. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'll watch the games, but I'm not sitting here like, can't wait to watch this freaking game this weekend, dude. Like, no, I can't wait till the draft.
Yeah, like
I can't wait till free agency.
Like, we were sitting there all weekend. It's like, damn, wish we were watching the Lions.
Yeah, because like, you're watching these shitty games.
And shitty teams.
Obviously, we're going to talk about them, but, like, you just think, like, man, if the Lions were in this game, like, we would probably win. Like, but it's going to help them. It's going to give them more fire next year.
Yeah, to start the year hot.
Let's win the division next year. Let's not make it, let's get into the playoffs. No, let's get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, we are going to for sure be in because we're going to win the division.
Yeah, let's know by week 12 whether or not we're going to be in the playoffs.
And I think when there's less stuff to talk about, we are going to do a lot more in depth of what do we do with pick 6 and pick 18? What do we prioritize in free agency? There's going to be plenty of episodes where we really dive into those speculations and stuff, because there's the quarterback obviously debate, and I have my opinions on it, but they're going to change throughout the offseason because that's just how it works. So let's get into the games though from last week. I do want to quickly actually look at our picks from last week because obviously we did pick the games. So we'll go through each one of these games and talk about like how each team looked and everything. The first game was the 4:30 game on Saturday. Seattle at San Francisco. We obviously both picked the San Francisco 49ers, and they won. It was kind of a game for a little bit, but San Fran dominated in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. But it definitely, it was a lot closer than I thought for a lot longer than I expected. But then San Fran just pulled away, especially in that fourth quarter.
I did take Seattle plus 9.5, so it was looking good for a while.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously did not end up working out for me. The next game, there's not much to talk about in that game.
No,
like there's these other games, there's better ones. That game was one of the worst ones. The next game was the Saturday night game, like this one. The 5-seeded LA Chargers versus 4-seeded Jacksonville Jaguars. We both picked the Chargers actually, and we both lost that one. It looked like we were going to win that one, but we did not.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence hasn't lost on a Saturday in forever. I was shocked at the way this game unfolded.
Yeah.
The massive comeback. There's not many times where you can lose the turnover battle the way the Jags did and come out with a win. Trevor Lawrence, we were making jokes about how bad he looked because he did. He looked terrible. He threw 2 picks in 5 minutes. But the comeback was crazy. And then I was pretty upset with Joey Bosa after the game, blaming the refs and just like they didn't score. The refs didn't score 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The one shitty play that the refs did make was when they chased Bosa down and threw that flag on him. That was a bad call. Joey Bosa was walking away, expressing but he was walking away. Wasn't walking towards an official. Wasn't yelling at the official. The official sprinted, got in front of him, and then threw the flag.
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
And it was, I will say, I mean, like, Joey Bosa should not react like that, especially as a leader of that team, one of the veterans, so you could say, of that team. And the penalties didn't obviously cost them the game, but it was a pretty blatant false start, missed call. In general, the officiating this weekend was really bad. There was a lot of bad calls. That Giants-Vikings game had plenty of bad calls. Dallas-Tampa Bay game had so many missed holding calls in that one. Like, it was all around pretty poor officiating. But yeah, either way, it doesn't change the comeback. I mean, we turned this game off at halftime.
Yeah,
it was like Jags scored right before halftime, but turned it off, started playing Madden. Next thing you know, you realize, oh my God, Jags are coming back, turn it back on. It's like, what? How do you blow that lead in the playoffs? I think Brandon Staley should lose his job at this point. I mean, this Chargers team the last 3 years has had one of the more talented rosters in the AFC. They missed the playoffs the last 2 years. Last year, obviously, a huge mistake from Brandon Staley calling a timeout in that game against the Raiders to prevent them from tying and both getting in. They ended up losing, not getting in. This year, they end the year strong, finally getting to the playoffs. Look like a good team. I was talking them up. I said, this is a sleeper team to make a run. That first half looked like it. I mean, that team it's a good team on both ends. They were just getting healthy. And you blow a game to I know the Jags are like hot right now, and I like not taking anything away from them. They're a 9-8 football team that got in the playoffs because their division sucks. It's just like you can't lose that game in the playoffs. I don't care if it's your first playoff game as a coach. Justin Herbert's first playoff game. You cannot lose in that situation.
No, they lost to a younger, less experienced football team in general, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Everything you just said about Brandon Staley, you can almost say about the Jacksonville Jaguars, other than
obviously Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach. But.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, this is Trevor Lawrence's first playoff game in the NFL. So it's a really bad look for the Chargers to lose that game. They should have won. I mean, there's just no doubt about it.
You got to win that game.
Got to win.
It's that simple. So they are out, and obviously it doesn't look like Staley's going to be fired, but if he is, that looks like a pretty flattering job to
it does.
Sean Payton specifically, who was on Colin Cowherd's show yesterday, and he did reiterate that he's been in contact with the Saints, and the Saints think they are going to get a mid to late first-round pick for wherever Sean Payton goes, which is just crazy.
That is so funny.
Weird. Remember when Doc Rivers got traded from the Celtics to the Clippers like years ago? I don't think that was a crazy bag or anything. Like, I think it was like just cash or something, or maybe like a second-round pick. A first-round pick in the NFL is like
crazy.
That is crazy. I understand Sean Payton, like he's a great coach and everything, but like, just go hire Ben Johnson. Like, go hire Dan Quinn for free.
And majority of like first round picks in the NFL are future Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, I mean a lot of that's day one starters.
Yeah,
like,
it's just absolutely.
Why do you want the team you're going to lose that pick? Like, okay, whatever. But I guess it's how it works.
It's just funny to me that a coach can even be traded like that.
I know,
because it's something you just don't expect.
It doesn't happen very often. Yeah. All right. The Sunday 1 o'clock game, Buffalo versus Miami. This game was pretty damn good. This was a very entertaining game. It was close for a while, and then it kind of seemed like Buffalo was pulling away, but Miami was right there. Obviously, they started off the second half with the scoop and score. Skylar Thompson, though, could not get it done, and Buffalo scores late, and they win this one, I think by 3, right? I think it was by a 3-point win. But obviously, I think most people expected Buffalo to win. We both picked Buffalo.
That Dawson Knox touchdown was
what a
crazy.
Catch, that was pretty nuts.
Ball catch, both of them were just impressive. There's the early Jalen Waddle drop.
Yeah.
That was just
wild. He had a few drops in that game,
he did not play his best game of football.
Definitely not.
But Hey, I mean, Skylar Thompson actually played his heart out.
Yeah,
Played his heart out.
He played pretty decent for a rookie quarterback that's never supposed to be playing.
Yeah, I mean, he threw that first ball to Waddle, and it was like, oh shit, he's airing it out. Let's see it.
Literally. Buffalo gets the dub there. The 4:30 Sunday game, Giants Vikings. This is the first game that we had different. I picked the Vikings. What a mistake. You picked the New York Giants, and they get the win. I didn't catch the second half of this game. We didn't. We were playing basketball in that time. It was keeping up with the score. Looked like a really good game. I ended up rewatching the last final drive because that was when the roughing the passer call was called on Kirk Cousins. Thankfully, it did not result in the result of the game. It didn't change anything. And the Giants win. What a game from Daniel Jones. I mean, confirming that he's going to get the bag from the Giants this offseason, no matter what happens against Philly.
He has to. You throw for 300, rush 17 times for, I don't know,
70 plus yards. Yeah.
70 plus yards. That's a ridiculous game from an offense who's been kind of stagnant lately. They've been struggling.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is a baller. He's here to stay.
Did you see that he's the first player ever?
He's the first player ever.
I gotta pull it up, dude. Gottlieb sent me this meme, and it was the screen was cut off, and it was like a graphic of Daniel Jones. It just says Daniel Jones, first player all time, and then it's just the dude saying it. I'm gonna play it into the mic because it's freaking hilarious, dude. Oh, it got deleted, dude. No. All right, never mind.
Is Daniel Jones better than Eli Manning already?
No.
He's better
as a talent, maybe. But
maybe as a commentator.
Not as a career.
I'm taking Daniel Jones. Dude, the Manning cast is bad.
Yeah, I don't usually like listening to it.
It's bad.
I definitely don't like Troy and Joe either on ESPN, so it's you pick your poison.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that bad. It's just like if you're looking for a more casual watching experience, definitely tune into that because they're not, they're just talking to their guest and also what's going on in the game. But like a playoff game, I'm probably going to watch the game. Obviously, Dan Campbell was entertaining to watch that part. But yeah, it's that I've never been a huge fan of the Peyton and Eli cast. I know a lot of people do like it.
It was off topic out of me anyways. But the Giants proving what we've been saying all year. The Vikings are frauds.
Yep.
They aren't that good. Who knows what's good? I mean,
they're in a weird spot. Yeah.
What does the Vikings offseason look like going into next year?
I mean, I don't know because they won 13 games, right? Mm-hmm. That's a pretty successful year. But there is a possibility. I'd have to take a look at the record books, but that might be the worst 13-win team in NFL history. I mean, literally, you won 11 out of your 12 or whatever out of your 13 games by one possession, and you didn't lose a one-possession game all year until this weekend. It's until the first playoff game. It's we kind of all knew this was going to happen. You can't do that again next year. I know, at some point in this regular season, once you got to 7 of those wins, it was maybe they can keep doing it because they come up clutch. You can't do that again for a full season. But you have Justin Jefferson, so it's you can't move on from Kirk Cousins unless you get an upgrade. It's not like Kirk is the problem. Their defense is terrible. They have one of the worst. They probably have the worst passing defense in the NFL, and that's coming from a Lions fan. Pretty tight. Those might be the two worst. They're a really bad pass defense, so they need to get upgrades there. But I feel like everyone's already writing them off. When the Lions beat the Packers, it was these two teams until Aaron Rodgers leaves, they're going to be battling for the NFC North. It's what about the team that just dominated the NFC North this year? No one even cares about them because they know that they're not that good. Dalvin Cook is obviously getting older, and you're paying him a lot of money, so maybe you try to shed his salary and put that on the defensive side of the ball.
Please.
But, I mean, not please. I don't want him to be good.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah, so Minnesota's in a tough spot, yeah.
Yeah, me and Ivan were sitting there, and we're thinking maybe you go Justin Jefferson for T. Higgins and Joe Mixon. And just put Justin Jefferson on the Bengals. Everybody wants to see it.
Ever been a trade like that in NFL history.
Everybody wants to see it though. So let's
get Jets on the Bengals.
Yeah, let's get Jets, Jamar, and Joey B back together, and let's see it. Let's see it.
Yeah, just get Clyde on there too, even though Clyde's not good. All right,
that wouldn't be the difficult part.
Yeah,
that'd be the easy part.
2 more games. Sunday Night Football was the Ravens-Bengals game. What a crazy game this was. It was tight the entire game. The Ravens came to play. The defense was played phenomenal. Despite all the injuries, obviously Lamar Jackson being the big one. Ravens were in this thing, and then I think it was it early fourth quarter or late third quarter where obviously the Tyler Huntley dive over the goal line or dive over the goal line, try to get to the
fumble it.
The goal line actually, and then you fumble it, and Sam Hubbard takes it 100 yards back to the house. Crazy play, and obviously from that point it looked over. But the Hail Mary at the end of the game goes right through. Oh, who even was it? It was James Prochet. Goes right through his hands, and the Ravens couldn't get it done.
It really sucks watching this game and seeing how close it really was with Huntley starting at QB. Really, it makes you think, makes you desire seeing Lamar, and I understand him not playing. That doesn't mean I don't want to see it, though. I really wish Lamar would have been able to play in this game.
Yeah.
So we could have really been able to see what happened, but Huntley didn't play terrible. That
obviously
goal
that
line play is crazy.
I mean, he didn't even get really close to making it, and it's just like,
what are you doing?
I know.
What's going on?
You got to make sure that you get it there because you're going to fumble it.
Like, there's no way you're holding on to that ball.
It's just, can it get over the point? It's tough. I mean, the Ravens played really good, and J.K. Dobbins straight up said it after the game. If we had Lamar Jackson, we win that game, which is like a huge F-U to Tyler Huntley.
Oh, that poor guy.
It's reality, you know. It sucks. And now the Ravens go into a really weird spot this offseason. They extended Roquan Smith, which wasn't surprising because Roquan Smith was phenomenal once he got to Baltimore, and helped turn that defense around into one of the better ones in the AFC. But you have Lamar Jackson, who is going to be a hot commodity this offseason. I do predict he will end up back in a Ravens uniform, but I don't know how the money situation works with. I don't know if you can give him that big, giant bag. Maybe you try and convince him to play under the tag, which I know he said he wouldn't, and a lot of players don't like playing on it. But we'll see what happens because you can't. I mean, that last night shows, like Sunday night shows, like who else is going to play quarterback if you don't have Lamar Jackson? You know, you don't have the weapons for another quarterback to be as good as Lamar is in that offense. Lamar gets away with it because he's a weapon in himself.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't have the other guys to support Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, exactly. You need a lot of talent surrounding that guy, which you don't need around Lamar. I really don't know what the Ravens offseason looks like.
I mean, they're still a really good team, you know? Like
I really do. I agree with you in the fact that I think the Ravens will be where Lamar ends up playing football next year.
I think so.
But I don't know how happy he'll be to be playing football in Baltimore.
And he was hurt, you know? He did not play to hold out because of his contract. Dude was injured. It's that simple.
Luckily for Tyler Huntley, he had the second worst day of anybody, I think, other than Brett Maher. I mean,
that leads us right into our next game, Monday Night Football, Dallas, Tampa Bay. We already talked about a little bit about the Manning cast. Yeah, this was just a terrible game.
Terrible,
like a really bad game. I did think the officiating was pretty bad. I do think it was definitely favoring the Dallas Cowboys. Still doesn't matter because the Bucs played really bad and the Cowboys played pretty damn good.
Yep.
You know, their offense was flowing pretty well. Obviously, the defense was all over Tampa Bay. Brett Maher, though, I mean, 4 missed extra points. Being the head coach in that spot has got to be terrible because it'd be different if you were like losing and your guy's missing extra points because then you can just get on his ass. You know what? You're done kicking for the rest of the day. You're winning by 3 touchdowns. It's like, okay, like you're going to be playing again next week and you're going to need a kicker. Like you can't just be like, nah, dude, you suck.
Yeah.
We're going to go for 2 every time because then he's not going to want to kick next week either. So it's a really difficult spot to be in. And obviously he did end up making one. They sent him back out for the 5th time and he made it. But just crazy that you missed 4 extra points. And he missed 3 all year. Like it's not like he's some scrub.
He's the nuts kicker.
He was good all year. On the fantasy football trivia, he was tied for kicker 1 this year. Like it's unreal.
Jerry Jones came out after the game and was like, he'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that. I really do love that attitude.
Did you see the sleeper report today, though, from Jerry Jones? It said that they're going to monitor their options at kicker for next week.
No. Yes. You got to rock with them.
Do you?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if you can.
Me either. I don't know.
You're right. Here's the question. What if Justin Tucker comes out and misses 4 extra points?
I mean, you still rock with him.
Do you?
You can't fire him.
But like your job is that, you know,
and I know
you're
that.
not doing it.
But like
it's weird. Like,
but like even
but
Tom
you just
Brady
go for 2
throws
every
4
time
picks.
Is what I'm saying. Like, do you just say F the extra point? Like, we're just gonna go for it.
No,
every
but
time.
with Brett Maher, I would have after the 4th miss. I would have been like, we're going for 2, Brett. Nothing against you. You just suck.
Yeah, we'll get him next week.
Yeah,
you know, you got a week.
If
to
it's
shake
Tucker,
it off.
I'm sending him back out for the 5th.
Yeah,
because I know he's looking at me wanting it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Brett Maher looked like a deer in headlights.
He looked defeated.
It was sad. And it really sucked.
It is sad.
Because you're sitting there and you're watching a human's worst day ever. Like, that is Brett Maher's. That will go down in history as his worst day he's ever had. And we just sat there and watched and we're laughing. Peyton Manning was telling him he should be cut at halftime.
I legit was like, I don't even know if I was laughing. I was just like, no, dude. Like he did not just miss that.
And like Peyton Manning's throwing footballs because he's so angry. And I get that Peyton Manning has a kicker problem. He hates kickers.
Yeah.
But
as a quarterback, it probably makes sense. Like it pissed me off too. I just drove this whole drive, scored a touchdown, and you can't make a 30-yard field goal. Like,
yeah, Dak was pissed.
4 in a row, yeah, exactly.
Dak was hot on the sidelines. Go for something. I don't know. He said
which
something
the valid point is, you don't see Brett Maher getting pissed when Dak Prescott's throwing all them picks.
Yeah,
So.
and he doesn't.
Yeah.
He sits there quietly on the sidelines.
Oh, I could have kicked a field goal there, but no, you threw up interception in the red zone. It's whatever, Dak. So, but obviously, Dallas wins the game either way, and sets up a nice rivalry for next week. So. My Super Bowl prediction is already washed. Buffalo Bucks was my prediction. It's gone. It's whatever. Still could get the champ, but
Yeah, you can now update your other side. You might as well this week.
I do
update it.
think my preseason pick was Bucks to win it all, though. I'm pretty sure. So I'll have to go back. And
Yeah, we'll have
listen
to
it.
come out and see.
All right, so let's get into our picks for this week, and I do have the spreads for each game, and I think it'd be fun for us to pick those as well. So. Saturday at 4:30, we have the 4-seeded Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Arrowhead to take on the 1-seeded Kansas City Chiefs. The line is set at Chiefs minus 8.5. Largest line of these 4 games.
The Jags are going to need a magical day to beat these Chiefs. Not saying it's impossible.
They had a magical day last week.
They did, and you can have 2 magical days. They're not even in a row. They're 6 days apart, 7 days apart. It can happen. However, I think the safe pick here is to go with Chiefs. But I will take the Jags to cover. Give me the Jags cover.
Gotcha. So you're going Chiefs, but Jags cover. I'm going to do you check marks, and I'll do circles for me. All right. Actually, I should have just wrote like an E next to it, maybe.
Oh,
that
typically works.
Yeah, I'll go with the E. It just has a little check on it. Yeah, give me the Chiefs, and give me the Chiefs minus 8.5. The Chiefs are not messing around. The Jags, they've had their run. It's cool and all. We beat them by 25 points or whatever. Just want to remind. Yeah, give me the Chiefs. They're not messing around. Minus 8.5. They're going to win. Sunday, or not Sunday.
We also beat the Giants.
Yeah, we
both
beat the
teams
Giants
in the
too.
second round.
Yeah, I mean, we're better than like half these teams.
It really blows.
So we pretty much beat the Cowboys and the Bills.
Yeah, it blows.
And Philly. All right, Saturday night, 8:15 game. Really fun. Division rivalry. 3rd time they're meeting this year. 6-seeded New York Giants heading to Philly to face the 1 seed. Philly is 7.5-point favorites in this one.
I've no way Philly blows this game, right? I mean,
Probably not.
It would be crazy if they blew this game to the Giants. And mainly because it's the division rival. This is no different than if the Packers and Lions met in the playoffs and the Packers were better all year and then the Lions beat them, whatever.
Yeah.
It would just be crazy. I don't see it happening. Give me Philly and give me the cover. Give me the cover.
I am also going to pick Philly, but I am going to take the Giants plus 7.5. The way they played this past week, I think they're going to keep it tight. These 2 teams did play in week 18. And it was an absolute blowout, but the Giants didn't play any of their starters because they were already locked into that 6 seed. So
they really only have played once this year.
Pretty much, yeah. Basically, have only played once this year. It's going to be a fun game. This Giants team is hot, and they have a really good defense. And Daniel Jones is playing well, so give me them to cover. But I'm going to take Philly to win. They are just the better team. Sunday, the times for these games on Sunday are just what a great job from the NFL. 3 o'clock, we have the 3-seeded Cincinnati Bengals taking on the 2-seeded Buffalo Bills. The matchup is finally, hopefully, going to happen.
I am so pumped to watch.
And by the way, the
game.
line Bills minus 4.5. By the way,
I'm pumped to watch this game. I mean, Joe Burrow in the playoffs gonna be crazy. Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow is just a treat. It's gonna be amazing. I'm taking the Bills in this game. I think I picked them to, or did I pick the Bengals? No, I took the Bills. Give me the Bills.
And who are you taking to cover? 4.5.
Bills.
No,
give me Bengals.
Bengals.
Give me Bengals. Right. It's going to be a field goal type game.
Yeah.
Probably ends on a field goal. Not McPherson, though.
Oh, okay. So, who kicks it then?
Well, it has to be.
I get what you're saying.
Bills.
I get what you're saying. All right, so this one's tough because obviously, like, these teams are going to be ready to play.
Yeah.
A lot happened, obviously, last time, Damar Hamlin's situation. And by the way, Damar Hamlin is doing good now, which is awesome to hear.
Yep.
I think I'm going to take the Bengals to win this game. I really do. The Bills have been shaky. The Bengals obviously were a little bit last week as well. But, I think a lot of people have already locked in, like, KC-Buffalo rematch in the AFC Championship game. I don't think so. I don't think we can just lock it in like that. I think we can lock in the Cincy-KC rematch that happened last year. So I'm going to take Cincinnati to win this game over the Bills. But I'm super excited for this game.
Me too.
So whatever happens, happens. Finally, Sunday at 6:30. What a beautiful time for a football game.
So
that is just awesome. Yeah, hoops is going to be a little weird, but still, just a great time for a football game. 5-seeded Dallas Cowboys heading to San Francisco to face the 2-seeded Niners. Tightest line yet. By the way, these are all FanDuel. We're doing this on Wednesday, so they could change. They probably will. Niners -3. This is a tight game. Kind of surprising, I guess, but the Dallas Cowboys did blow out Tampa Bay, so that obviously probably plays into it. What are you going with?
Give me the Niners. Just straight up, the Dallas Cowboys are A, not that good, and B, lacking a kicker. So give me the 49ers in this game. They played so well last week. Brock Purdy is Mr. the Man, no longer Mr. Irrelevant. He might be their starter next year. He might have to be if he leads them to the Super Bowl.
He might, that's another conversation we got to have, because I am under the belief that I do think Brock Purdy's getting a little overrated right now. Watching that game, he had a lot of plays where he made the wrong play or, had the wrong pass, just made a bad pass. But he is very good at escaping the pocket, it adds another element to that team. But Trey Lance is the guy you traded 3 first-round picks for and is making more money. Jimmy G obviously is the odd man out. But if Brock Purdy wins him the freaking Super Bowl, it's hard to just be like, let's go with the guy that's played one game for us.
Exactly.
Trey Lance it'd be different if it was a established starter that's out. Trey Lance has not played very much. Not saying he's not good. We don't really know yet. And do they need Trey Lance? He is a on-the-move mobile quarterback. I don't know if that's what they need in this San Francisco offense. They just need a guy that's going to get the playmakers the ball. So maybe you do rock with Brock Purdy. However, I'm not saying it's going to be because of Brock Purdy or anything. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. I'm not rooting for the Cowboys, but I think it's something that I get reminded every year in the NFL playoffs is that crazy stuff happens. Stuff you don't think that's going to happen is going to happen. You look at these games like San Fran has to win, right? It's a tight line. It's tighter than I thought it'd be. It had me rethinking everything. I think Dallas has potential to win this game, so I'm going to take them to win. Did you take San Francisco to cover too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing about the Brock Purdy Trey Lance situation is Shanahan was pretty vocal that he didn't want Trey Lance. He was not happy with that pick. He wanted Mac Jones in that draft. Yeah. And he ended up. And Brock Purdy is much closer to Mac Jones than Trey Lance is. Much closer. So that's another thing. The head coach doesn't like the other starter.
Well, I don't know if he does. They said that they were choosing between Trey Lance and Mac Jones. So I would say he doesn't like Trey Lance.
You're right.
Because obviously they had the choice to take Mac Jones. So, maybe a guy like that would fit better. I just also got a Shams notification that the Wizards have started trade talks centered on Rui Hachimura. Cool.
Yeah, I guess.
He's going to go for a second-round pick and a veteran. So
Shams' life sometimes has to be so boring. That's what he's being asked to report
it's
about.
It's trade talk, though. We have not had no trades. Except
none.
There was a trade. Oh, what was the trade? It happened maybe 2 weeks ago. It was Noah Vonleh to the Spurs. Yeah, that's what it was.
What a move. The Spurs might be contenders.
Freaking bomb, dude. That's what got them all that dudes to go to that game against the Warriors was Noah Vonleh. That's why they traded for him. All right. We have a top. We're going to do our NBA All-Star predictions right now. But first, we have a couple trivia games for each other that we wanted to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do mine first for you. Being that we're doing all-star predictions, I figured why not do a little all-star quiz?
Okay.
I'm going to give you 6 NBA players. 3 of them have made an All-Star game. 3 of them have not.
Okay.
I need you to tell me which ones have and haven't, and we'll see if you get it right. So I can either just like show you the 6 so you remember. Well, obviously I'm going to read them off, but it's going to, because I don't just want to go through one by one, because what if you think all of them are All-Stars, you know? So I'm just going to name all of them, 6 off, and if you need to re-see them, just tell me.
3 of them are All-Stars, 3 of them are not.
3 of them are All-Stars, 3 of them are not.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Kristaps Porzingis, CJ McCollum, Drew Holiday, D'Angelo Russell, De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray.
Okay.
3 of them have been All-Stars, 3 of them have not. If you need me to read, or you can just look at my paper too if you want. So you
No, I
see
don't.
'em.
So CJ McCollum, I don't think has ever been an All-Star. Kristaps Porzingis, I feel like he was in his early years. I think Drew Holiday might have been an All-Star in Philly. I think so. And who are the last 3 guys?
The last 3 guys are D'Angelo Russell, De'Aaron Fox, and Jamal Murray. 3 young guards.
I feel like Jamal hasn't. I don't think Fox hasn't, but I don't remember D'Lo ever making it. D'Lo, if he would have made it, would have been in the East. Oh, but I can low-key imagine the D'Lo jersey. I'm going to say D'Lo, Drew Holiday, and Kristaps were all All-Stars.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is correct. Yes, good job. Yeah. All of them have only been one-time All-Stars, and you got them all correct. Kristaps Porzingis was an All-Star with the New York Knicks. Drew Holiday was way back when with the Philadelphia 76ers, one time. And D'Angelo Russell with the Brooklyn Nets was an All-Star.
Hell yeah, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, which is, really good. You know, it's a couple crazy things there that Drew has only been a one-time All-Star. It just feels like he should have been one up with Milwaukee at some point by now, or New Orleans. And De'Aaron Fox hasn't been an All-Star yet. It's kind of crazy because he's, I would say, objectively is the best player on that list. You know, maybe him or CJ McCollum, but pretty cool. So,
okay,
yeah.
I'm going to name a player's career, his destinations over his entire career.
And I have to name that player.
You got to name the player.
Okay.
Memphis to Toronto to Sacramento to the Spurs.
Rudy Gay.
That's wild.
Didn't even have to get Utah.
That's wild. That is so wild. Okay, switching it up. That's question.
Are these all current players, by the way?
Yeah, these are current players. Okay. We're not doing that for this guy. That was way too easy for you. Way too easy. You have to name me every team that Evan Turner has played for in his career.
Oh, Lil Yachty, every team he's played for? That's crazy.
Lil Yachty?
He sounds just like Lil Yachty.
Really?
He talks exactly. Yeah, you ever listen to his podcast? Him and Andre Iguodala have a podcast. It's pretty good. But he talks just like freaking Lil Yachty.
I had Yachty's pizza the other day, and that shit was gas. It was
honey.
good.
Oh, yeah, I remember you saying that.
It was not the hot honey
What is going on Twitter, dude? There's like so many notifications. Oh, Cam Johnson plans to make his return on Thursday.
Boom, baby.
Got him in fantasy, right? Yeah. All right. Every team that Evan Turner has played for. Wow, that's wild. All right, so Portland, the Boston Celtics. I really don't want to get any wrong, but the Atlanta Hawks.
I think you can go. I think you can get all of them.
How many is there? Can you tell me that? Okay.
So you got 3.
I have another team I want to guess, but I'm not 100% confident, so I don't want to get one wrong. I want to. This is not a guess. I want to say the Brooklyn Nets, but am I thinking of Alan Crabb playing for the Brooklyn Nets? I don't know. I'm not going to guess them yet. Man, Evan Turner, that is a tough one. Because Boston is obviously like the one that you remember most, I feel like, of Evan Turner.
That's not the one I remember the most.
Really? I feel like I remember it because he was like playing point guard for Boston.
I remember that, but there's a team I remember him more for. And I picture him.
Okay, did you write down the order of like when he went on these teams?
Yeah.
So what am I missing in
the first
order?
2. The first 2 teams he played for.
Really?
Yeah. Boston was the 3rd team he played for, then Portland, then Atlanta. So you're missing where he started his career.
I could have sworn Boston was the first team. Okay, so where'd he get drafted? That's what he was a high draft pick. So I need to think where he got drafted to. He was like a lottery pick, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I think he might have been like a top 6 pick. Where did he get drafted to?
I think he was a top 6
Evan
pick.
Turner. Oh, Philly.
Philly.
Yeah,
Philly. Yeah, that's the team I think of when I think
sure.
Evan Turner.
Yeah.
So I'm missing the team after Philly.
Yeah. I don't want to guess Brooklyn. I want to make sure it's not on any other team before I guess them. But that is the team that's in my head, but I'm not that confident in it. Or I guess they would have. Would they have been Brooklyn then? I don't even know. All right. After Philly and before Boston. Do you know like how long he played on this team or no?
Half a year.
Okay. Okay, that's tough. I'll guess Brooklyn.
It's wrong.
Okay. Let me try and think of another one. And if that's... Oh, no. Is it the Washington Wizards?
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
It's the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, yeah. He did play for Indiana. Yep.
I knew once I said it, it would click.
Yeah,
it would
he for sure played for them. Yep. I remember him on the Pacers. Evan Turner's a guy I've not thought about in a long time.
Well, when I saw he was on Atlanta currently, I was like, man, he's on Atlanta right now?
He plays for... Like, he's on their team right now?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he was on their team like a couple years ago.
Oh, maybe.
I don't think he's in the league right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think
maybe
so.
I didn't check that. Maybe it did.
Because I remember him playing with like them honeycomb, like black and gray Hawks jerseys with the neon.
Yeah, and that's when the pictures were.
Yeah,
so that's probably right.
Yeah.
That's probably right.
Cool.
That was fire.
Yeah.
You nailed Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay was too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy.
I don't know if I would have gotten that.
Now, if you would have just named me those teams like that, I don't know if I would have gotten Evan Turner. I mean, you'd have to tell me if it was current or not. But
Yeah.
That would have been tough to do it that other way. All right. Are we ready to get into our All-Star predictions?
Yep.
All right. Let's start in the... By the way, I guess we'll just get into it when we talk about it. Eastern Conference, 2 guards, 3 forwards. Who you got?
For my starters...
Yeah, your starters.
Yeah. I have Kevin Durant. No, I'm going to change it. I'm going to go Tatum and Embiid. And for my guards, I'm going to go Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, and... Man.
Well, you have 3 forward spots, 2 guards.
Oh, yeah. So I said Mitchell and... Who else?
Mitchell and Jaylen Brown, I think.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go Tatum, Giannis, Embiid.
Yeah.
As my 3 forwards.
Mine is almost the same. My forwards are the same. Giannis, Tatum, Embiid. And then I have Donovan Mitchell, and I have Kyrie Irving as a all-star starter. I did not, I'll just say it, I did not have KD listed as an all-star. I think he will be voted in as an all-star, but he's not going to play in the all-star game. Probably, actually, when is the all-star game? It's like, does the trade deadline happen before all-star weekend now? I think it does. I think they changed that rule to, so the all-star is probably February, like second week of February. So maybe KD comes back before then. But I did not include him just because I feel like he'll probably just end up getting a sub anyways. Even because he's going to be I think he's the vote leader anyway, so he's going to be the captain. Which he was. That's actually crazy because last year he was the captain but didn't even play.
It kind of sucks.
Again.
The captain is.
But it's low-key kind of cool though because he just picks the guys.
You're right.
And he didn't have
he's
to play.
playing coach at that point.
Yeah,
GM.
exactly. All right, Western Conference starters: 2 guards, 3 forwards.
Was it last year the year that KD wouldn't pick Harden?
Yeah,
that is the funniest clips ever.
I know
because Bron is
Rudy
just
Gobert over him.
Bron is sitting there like covering his eyes, looking away from the screen.
He knew what he was doing.
He thinks he's hilarious. LeBron thinks he's so funny.
It was pretty funny.
Forwards in the West: Jokic, Bron, and oh man, Jokic, Bron. I'm gonna give it to Lowry Markkanen.
Okay.
Let's give the third starter to Lowry, and then at guard, I'm going to go with Stephen Curry and Luka Doncic.
My Western Conference starters, I have Luka and Ja as my starting guards. I decided to not start Steph just because he missed a little bit of time. And then my forwards are LeBron, Jokic, and I gave it to Domantas Sabonis.
That was the other guy I was debating with.
Decided to give it to him. Now, if Zion isn't hurt, I give it to him, but I didn't give it to him. So, all right, bench. Let's go with Eastern Conference because there's 2 guards, 3 forwards, and 2 alternates. So
terrible.
Yeah. So let's just go with the 2 guards off the bench. Top 2 guards off the bench in the East.
I have Darius Garland and Tyrese Halliburton. I have Tyrese first-time All-Star.
Yeah. I have Tyrese Halliburton as well, and I put Trae Young there. Trae Young he's going to be a guy that might make it. He has good stats, so he probably will. Your 3 forwards in the East.
My 3 forwards are Pascal Siakam, Jimmy Butler. I have Jim written down twice. It's really weird.
Jim
and Butler. Huh.
Who would be Jim? Jim, I don't.
It's the only Jimmy Butler. Yeah. I must have just written him down twice and called it 12.
I guess so. He's a 2-time All-Star.
He's 2-time starter. Yeah, that's all I got.
Oh, like those are your two?
Yeah, those are two of my forwards.
I have Pascal Siakam, Bam Adebayo, and I put Jaylen Brown as a forward. I don't know if he's going to be counted as forward or not. Probably not, but I did it anyways. I don't really care. And then your two alternate players.
Trae Young is an alternate. And at that point, it would have been... I got to make sure I got 12. 2, 3, 4.
Well, you have Jimmy twice, so...
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, I do have Jimmy. I have 12 guys written down here. So that would leave my alternates to be... Oh, it would be KD and Trae Young.
Okay.
Would be the alternates.
Yeah. My alternates are DeMar DeRozan, and I gave it to Jalen Brunson. I think the Knicks will get an all-star, whether it's Brunson or Randall. And Brunson has been really hot lately, so I decided to give it to him. And then some guys that missed. Jimmy Butler, I did not include him. I just feel like the Heat don't really deserve to have two right now. And Bam is having a really good year. Julius Randle, Darius Garland, James Harden, and obviously KD are all the guys that missed my list. All right, bench guards in the Western Conference.
I have Ja Morant and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I have Steph Curry and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another first-time All-Star. 3 forwards off the bench.
Okay, so forwards, I did terrible in. Sabonis, we're considering Desmond Bane a forward now.
All right.
And Anthony Davis.
That's what I don't know if they stretch. So I have Lauri Markkanen because Sabonis was a starter for me. I did include Zion, even though he has been hurt, and I didn't include most of the hurt guys. But there's just a lot of there's not many other forwards in the West.
That's why I threw AD in there.
I'm not giving it to Wiggins again.
No,
dude.
I'm not.
So and then I included Anthony Edwards as a forward.
Gotcha.
Because he kind of is, they've been starting Austin Rivers at shooting guard. So he kind of is a forward.
Same with you could say the same thing about Desmond Bane. I mean, he's kind of a forward.
Right, yeah, he really can't. But yeah, Anthony Edwards I think does deserve to make the All-Star game. He is a forward. 2 alternates in the West.
Damon Fox. That's who I got.
I wanted to put Fox pretty bad, but I didn't. Dame is obviously one of my alternates as well. He for sure will make it. And I gave it to CJ McCollum. I think it's finally time he makes the All-Star game. He's been absolutely on a tear since Zion has been injured.
He has been.
And the Pelicans are still winning games with Zion and Brandon Ingram out, thanks to CJ and Jonas Valanciunas. My honorable mentions, Booker and AD are 2 guys that absolutely would have made it if not of injury. They still could make it, who knows. I don't know what the game restrictions are or anything. Aaron Gordon, I wrote just I understand everybody saying is Aaron Gordon an all-star? But it's just just because a dude is having a good year does not mean that he is an all-star.
Yeah.
Let's get that
He's
straight.
not that tier of player.
He's still having a worse statistical year than a guy who's having
a bad year.
Exactly. A typical all-star that's having a down year. You know, I'm trying to think of somebody. I really can't.
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, Andrew. That's a. That,
I don't know.
I
don't know what he's averaging this year.
I don't know either. He's also been injured too. But Aaron Gordon, I just wrote, and then Anthony Simons, I do think also deserves some love because he's been really good this year. All right, so last thing we got to talk about is some Big Ten basketball. We're recording this on Wednesday. On Monday, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Michigan State versus Purdue was an absolute crazy game. Came down to the wire. Zach Edey gives Purdue the lead with 3 seconds left, and we could not finish it. Tyson Walker had 32 points, I believe.
He went nuts.
Zach Edey had his career high 32 and 17 rebounds. And we lost to Purdue. They are number 1 in the Big Ten right now, 17-1 and 6-1 in the conference. Tough loss, though.
Yeah, I saw a tweet. I think it was from Ant Wright, and it said Purdue is 1 ankle roll from Edey for being an NIT team.
Yeah, I did see that.
That is so fast.
It is. That's what me and Jake were saying.
This Purdue team is not that good.
No, they're not. They're the 3rd-ranked team in the country. They're the only 1-loss team in the Big Ten right now. But I think most Big Ten watchers watch Purdue and they're like, this isn't even a top 2 team in the Big Ten right now.
They're not that good.
They have Zach Edey. And no disrespect to Fletcher Lawyer, who had a good game against MSU. Mason Gillis had a good game. They have Braden Smith, their other freshman guard. But this has been a talk with Purdue all year. They have 2 freshman point guards starting for them. That is, you typically, especially maybe in the Big Ten it'll work, but because it's a big based league. But once you get to the tournament, I mean, you look at the Final Four teams every year. They have a veteran guard on their team. Every single one of them teams has one. This team doesn't. So we'll see, if it comes back to bite them at that point. Obviously, we're a long way from then, so maybe they continue to dominate. But they're not this juggernaut in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is wide open for any team right now. We can go through the standings really quickly. Purdue's 1. Rutgers is 2. They're the 22nd ranked team right now. They're 5-2 in the conference. MSU takes on Rutgers Thursday night, so that's a big game for them. Michigan is 3rd right now in the Big Ten at 10-7, 4-2 in the conference. They take on Maryland on Thursday, and they play Minnesota Sunday. And then I believe they play Purdue after that. I'm not sure what day. Illinois is 4th at 4-3 in the conference. A lot of teams, or a lot of fans believe Illinois is the best team in the Big Ten right now. MSU is at 5. They're 4-3 in the conference. Lost 2 straight tough ones against Illinois and Purdue. Wisconsin, Iowa, Northwestern follow, and then after that, it's a bunch of teams that have losing records in the Big Ten. The thing I wanted to bring up was the Big Ten the last 2 seasons has been a good conference as far as we've put 8 or 9 teams in the tournament. Teams that typically aren't good are good, and we've been one of the better conferences in basketball just because we get a lot of teams in the tournament. But then when we get to the tournament, we don't win. Michigan was the only team to make it to this, or Michigan and Purdue, I think, were the only teams to make it out of the first weekend last year. And then both of them lost in the Sweet 16. 2 years ago, Michigan was the only team to make it to the Sweet 16, I'm pretty sure, when they made it to the Elite 8. So it has not been a successful run for the Big Ten in the tournament. And I think this year is going to be the year that Big Ten play bites this conference because there is not a top team in this Big Ten. Any team, Penn State can beat Purdue on any given night. Ohio State, they were ranked in the top 15 all non-conference play. They've lost 3 straight Big Ten games, and they're in the bottom half of the Big Ten right now. So many teams in the Big Ten is, we always say, it beats up on itself. This year, it's going to play into as much as it ever has because it's going to play into a lot of teams not making the tournament because the worst team in the Big Ten is going to finish with an 8-12 record, that should not be that way. It should be the worst team wins 2 conference games, so there's going to be a lot of teams that lose, 10 plus games because the Big Ten is so competitive this year.
Yeah, the Big Ten and the competitiveness does not mean good. The Big Ten, I think, is down this year. I don't see a lot of teams making a deep run in March. I think this could be a really bad year for the Big Ten where people start really questioning. And we've underperformed for now 2 straight years. This could be the 3rd year in a row where the Big Ten just underperforms unless we get some really great matchups in the tournament against teams that don't have big men, who have low quality, non-athletic big men. But I don't know. I think Michigan is going to get exposed all year for not having a lack of shooters. We try to play this old 1900s basketball, and it hasn't been working. Michigan State, however, I do think could make actually a run. I think they match up well against a lot of teams. They have a lot of different guys that you can play, and the return of Malik Hall will actually be pretty huge for this team.
Well, Malik Hall obviously re-injured his foot, so he's going to be out for the foreseeable future.
Dude is always hurt.
It was bad because Tom Izzo said before the Purdue game, Malik Hall, he's going to be out for a long time. And he was in a boot the day after their Illinois game. And it's are you serious? He re-aggravated his foot. But then Tom Izzo came out and said after the Purdue game that, it's actually not as bad as we thought. He's already out of his boot. He should be back somewhat soon. I assume he's probably still going to miss probably a month or so. But hopefully he's back for conference tournament play. But Michigan State they're a good team. I do think we're a pretty deep team. We're pretty balanced all around. AJ Hoggard has taken a step this year. Obviously, Tyson Walker has been phenomenal. But, this was a Michigan State team that 2 games ago I was this team could be a top 5 seed. And now it's we're a bubble team right now. Things change that quickly. We play Rutgers, who's number 2 in the conference Thursday. We play Indiana, who's starting to get, Indiana was a top 10 ranked team all year. They're not even top 8 in the Big Ten right now. So that's what I'm saying. There's going to be maybe 4 teams that make the tournament out of the Big Ten this year. It's just can you stay above water in this league? Because it's not like Michigan is third in the conference right now, but they have by far the most losses out of any of these top 8 teams, just regular losses. So they can't afford to lose anything more than probably 6 conference games. So it's going to be really tough for a lot of these teams to get into the tournament, because even you have teams like Penn State is pretty solid. Wisconsin is decent, like all of these teams. Northwestern's having a good year. Really weird year for the Big Ten. And like you said, Michigan, they definitely have one of the better players in the conference. Jet Howard has really been on a tear these last couple games. He had his career high a couple nights ago. But who knows if they have the depth to continue to go farther. So it's going to be fun to watch because it's going to be really competitive. But yeah, this isn't the Big Ten of the past. You can't have MSU versus Minnesota and be like, yeah, like they're going to win these next 3 games, and then we got to look to these ones. Like, you got to look at every single game like it's going to be a game, which is a good thing for the viewer, but for the fan, for the conference, it's a bad thing. It actually is bad to have so many good teams. So we'll see how it ends up. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Go check us out on everything, and bye.
Deuces.